Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for jumping on. We're going to give a couple minutes here for some people to jump on, and then we'll get started in about 5 minutes. All right, thanks everyone for jumping on. We're gonna go ahead and get started. If a couple of people jump on here a little bit later, we'll bring them up to speed. But thank you everyone for taking the time to join us today. Specifically, we're going to be talking about our white labeled satellite program with our exclusive partnership with ViaSat. And discuss some of the new updates that we worked on, and Sunil Chandler from ViaSat is also with us today. He's also going to jump on as well and discuss some of the updates that we've been working on. So a quick little agenda on what we're going to discuss today. I'll provide a brief intro to MitoTec, discuss the build out economics of the MitoSat and ViaSat white label program. We'll provide Sunil, I'm sorry, will provide a overview of ViaSat along with some exciting news, hopefully happening today. Then we will also discuss the much anticipated service offering updates that we've updated here in short term, and then also discuss some of the longer term visions that Sunil has for the channel in general. And then we will also open it up to question and answer as well. So appreciate everyone taking the time. A little bit about myself. My name is Joe Regan. I'm a senior account executive at MitoTec. I've worked on the ViaSat white labeled program going on 8 years now. So since the inception of the program, we've worked with WISP of all shapes and sizes. So I see a couple familiar names and a couple unfamiliar names. Then the attendee list. So really quickly, just a quick high-level overview of who MitoTec is and what we do. We are actually a WISP ourselves and have been an operating WISP going on about 20 years now. We started in 1995. With that, what that's brought to the table for us is we have a team of engineers on staff here in Chicago, where we're located, with about 75 years experience in the IT telecom industry. We are proud members of the Convergence family of business. So you may be familiar with our sister companies. That includes CTI Connect, who does equipment and hardware fulfillment for mostly ISPs, along with IP Pay, which is a credit card non-processor, a credit card not present processing company for your ISPs as well. MitoTec has a pretty proprietary way of how we do things, and that is built off of our proprietary design, built, and support approach. And we utilize that for all of the services that we offer on our retail side, along with all the services that we also offer as part of our MitoTize Your WISP portfolio, specifically for the WISP industry. On top of that, including obviously the white labeled ViaSat program that we will discuss today, we also offer a white labeled voice over IP program. We do also offer a home security and a home automation program where you as the ISP own the customer and bill them for that service. We have an exclusive relationship with Vidgo, which is a TV streaming platform, which can allow you now to complete that triple play with your internet service and also your voice over IP service, and now be able to also offer a TV streaming platform with a pretty robust offering. It has about 150 channels. It has local ABC and local Fox, hopefully soon local CBS as well. With that, we also recently just brought on another service, and it can kind of pairs here with the ViaSat offering as well, is we actually just added on a SD-WAN platform. It's all built off of the same premise as most of the services that we offer here at MitoTec, including obviously the ViaSat service, where you can white label it as your own. Everything is month to month. You own the customer, you bill the customer, we take care of everything else, which includes our 24/7/365 NOC support that we provide on all of our service offerings to the ISP industry. More specifically, what we're discussing today is the ViaSat white label program that we offer here for all of our WISP partners. And with that, what we're really trying to do is we're providing the opportunity to your WISP to service your unserviceable customer base. And what that allows you to do is to never say no to a customer again, regardless of location, and also never lose them to a line of sight. With that, what we do is we provide you the ability to white label the service as your own service. You bill your customer, you bill your customer, you bill them for the service, What we do is we offer you a wholesale or competitive rate to against what ViaSat offers, so that you can set your own margins. What we also do then is also provide you with the support and also the technical training as well, in order for you to service and provide that service then, or your service, to the customer. Everything that we offer through the ViaSat program is month to month. There's no minimums to get started. There's no soft cost to get started or anything like that. So it's a complete pay-as-you-grow model, allowing you to, as the ISP, to position that to your customer base however you would like to. Part of what that does is it helps you control the build-out economics of the solution and the service overall. And what we really see in what the opportunity here is, allowing you as the WISP then to acquire a group of customers, utilizing your service, building your brand, not losing them to any other competitor or anyone else in the market. They don't go to, essentially, and Sunil, hold your ears, but they don't go to ViaSat and go onto a tier contract, and you may lose that customer. What it allows you to do is it allows you to capture that customer today. And it may be something where they're just outside of your footprint, or there's somewhere that you're looking to expand into. What this does is it allows you to build the brand loyalty up front by providing them with the solution today, with the overall goal of, once you acquire a considerable amount of customers, you drive the revenue from those customers to essentially help you fund your build out to that location and to those customers. What in turn you do is then you can just essentially take down the ViaSat equipment and reutilize that for another location that you may be looking to expand into and go further down the road. So really giving you as the ISP the opportunity, like I said before, to never say no to a customer, and allowing your unserviceable customer base to essentially fund your build outs to become serviceable customers and driving revenue off of that. So that's really the general opportunity and the basics behind the MitoTec reseller program. And what I did want to do is introduce Sunil Chandler with ViaSat. Sunil has taken on ownership of our program and is the main champion and the biggest driver to a lot of the changes that you've seen short term, and then along with obviously the vision that Sunil has for our program overall. So with that, Sunil, welcome to the team. We're glad to have you. We appreciate you taking the time to jump on. We do always ask our new host to sing a song. So if you can do that, and then we'll get into the ViaSat overview, we'd appreciate it.
I understand. We'll go ahead and skip the song singing because we don't want everyone to sign off. So I appreciate that. But everyone, thank you for joining. Again, my name is Sunil Chandler. I've been with ViaSat almost 4 years now. I've been in the satellite industry, including all the way back from being a dealer to working in the distribution for about 20 or 25 years. I've lost track of the math. But late last year, I was asked to really take over the wholesale program and revamp it. So I've gotten a lot of feedback from all of you and from MitoTec. And the first thing I want to say is thank you for hanging in there with us, because I've made ViaSat realize that the wholesale program got left behind, and there's a ton of opportunity here. And what you'll see today is we're already starting to make changes, and then there's more changes coming. I want to say, Joe, I think it's the next slide, that we're excited and we're keeping our fingers crossed. ViaSat 3 is set to launch this evening at 7:30 Eastern time out of Cape Canaveral in Florida. So it's been pushed a couple times this week and in the last couple of weeks. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. Right now, we're really just dependent on the weather and what's going on down there. We are 100% locked and loaded, ready to go. A lot of you have been in the satellite industry longer than I have. So this is basically our satellite fleet. We are still selling on ViaSat 1 and ViaSat 2, and then definitely in the next few months, we'll be selling on ViaSat 3. Joe, if you want to go to the next slide. So ViaSat 3 is not just one satellite. The satellite we're launching this evening is going to be over the Americas. And then we're launching one over Europe and then one over Asia very soon afterwards. It's going to make us the first global satellite provider, which gives us more name recognition when you're going to sell satellite service as well. Again, we're launching this evening. What this means for you is it's going to give you not just on ViaSat 3, but also on the existing satellites, ViaSat 3 era plans, which are going to be more robust, more data, less money, and more efficiency. So we are very excited about that. And like I said, everyone keep their fingers crossed. It's going up this evening. And we expect, and there's no official date, but because of all the delays with COVID and also with it going up, we've done a lot of the work already. This satellite's going to be in its orbital location faster than any other satellite we've launched before. We're expecting service launch. I don't know if I'm allowed to quote it, but July, August this year. We're going to be ready to go. I'll turn it back over to you, Joe, and then I'll talk to you guys a little bit more later on in the webinar.
Great, thanks, Sunil. I
Thank you.
appreciate that. And yeah, as Sunil mentioned, obviously we're all really anticipating the launch of ViaSat 3 and crossing our fingers that it successfully goes off in the next couple of days or even tonight, right, is what we're hoping for. And what that does is it just obviously expands the service offerings that we can offer and that you can offer to your customer base, while also keeping the same premise of our channel and the opportunity that it offers and the model that it positions our ISP customers to, by once again owning your customer, building your own brand loyalty, allowing you to set your own prices and compete with or service those unserviceable customer base. And what it's doing is it's increasing your revenue, right? Increasing the profits that you're seeing. It also is a way of optimizing your advertised spend. If there's areas, I know through the growth of our own WISP ourselves, is there's sometimes areas that you market to, and maybe they're just outside of your footprint. Instead of saying no to those customers up front, it's giving you another tool, essentially in the tool belt, to go out and acquire and turn on those customers today. It's also used in primarily, I have a couple ISPs that specifically use it as also a hot standby. So what I mean by that is what they'll do is they will keep equipment on their truck. They'll go out to a customer's location, maybe for whatever reason, after they did a site survey at their location or at their office, they go out to the site and they just, they can't get, for whatever reason, the equipment to lock on. This just gives you another option for your technician to not leave that customer site without providing them some type of service right off the bat, and losing that opportunity. And like I said, losing those customers to another provider that may lock them into a 2-year or 3-year contract. It's very similar as far as the installation process to the same type of installation that you do within your day-to-day WISP installs. And that's just obviously, you're just shooting up to the sky, right? So you're not losing or not, forbidden by line of sight issues or anything like that. Part of what ViaSat does, which is really good, is they have a installation and technician training that your techs are required to go through. And what that does is it helps them with the ins and outs of installing the system. And it's a good training overall on learning the ins and outs and the professionalism of what's the best things to do when you're on a customer's location, like take off your shoes, introduce yourself. So there's some training even that kind of falls into your day-to-day WISP training as well for your installers. As mentioned before too, there's no minimums to get started. There's no type of cost to get started or anything like that. It's a complete pay as you grow model. So now more to the more exciting news. and that is the new offerings and some of the updates to the program that Sunil's drove for us here in the last couple months. And we're starting to see those finally, and Sunil's hard work finally pay off for the rest of us here, and we're expanding and we're upgrading the service. So as of a couple of weeks ago, as you've seen, or if you're an existing partner, or if you're a new partner, is we've launched some new service plans, being 4 new service plans, 2 in ViaSat-1 service areas, and 2 additional plans in ViaSat-2 high capacity areas. What we've done and what Sunil's done is he's offered us some pretty competitive wholesale pricing, and that falls in line with 40 to 50% off of what Viasat's offering on those same packages, retail wise. So it's just extending and expanding on the margins and the profits that you can make off of your customer base. With that update too, what we've done is as we've made the competitive, or we've made buy more data rates essentially a lot more competitive. And I believe we've also, in a way, helped the buying experience with your end users by adding some additional ways that they're bundled together, so that it's an easier buying process overall. Another biggie that we've done is we've increased the subsidies that are paid out as far as equipment activation credits. And that's almost 2 to 3 times more than we were offering previously. And what that does is it helps offset the initial investment for the hardware up front that you may need to make, and turns those customers more profitable quicker, for faster ROI for you as well. Including also, we've added promotional credits for the service side too on ViaSat-1 for the 2 new packages that we're offering as well, which is new too. So it's just further offsetting some of those costs. And those are all credits that are provided to you as the ISP, as the WISP, as our partner. However you position that to your customer base is 100% up to you, because you own the customer and you own that experience. You own the billing relationship. We're just passing those credits on. The other biggie is also adding the addition of the SurfBeam 2 Plus modem. And what that does is it does 2 things in twofold. Is it aligns us with the newer technology within the Viasat portfolio, specifically for ViaSat-1 customers, so that as we kind of go long-term and expand the service offerings and what we're offering, we're on the newest technology, so that we can offer some of those faster speeds in some of those ViaSat-1 areas. It also, in addition, provides your end user, or your customer, with a Wi-Fi enabled modem. So with that, they don't have to go out and buy a home router. You as the ISP partner don't have to buy a home router. They can actually just utilize the SurfBeam 2 Plus modem with its Wi-Fi capabilities, providing for a better end user experience as well. It just becomes more stickier with your customer that way. The installation is still the same. It's a generic satellite dish. There's a TRIA. And then also, as I mentioned before, there's the new SurfBeam 2 Plus modem, or the Viasat Wi-Fi gateway for the Viasat-2 packages as well. Now, both offerings for Viasat-1 and Viasat-2 will come with the ability to provide home Wi-Fi, excuse me, as part of the service that you can offer to your customer base. With that, as I mentioned before, it does come with and does require that your techs go through the installer training. It's done online, it's done at their own pace. And once they achieve that and they pass through all of that, they go through a certification test, which provides them with a tech ID number. And that's what will be utilized at the time of install to activate that customer on site. As mentioned before, some of the additional changes that we've made is we've increased essentially revenue streams, or different ways in which you can generate some additional revenue from your customer bases without having to do anything, right? And you don't have to do a truck roll or anything like that, and you can still drive some additional revenue. And that's one of those, is being obviously the buy more data rate plans. Previously, prior to Sunil taking on our channel, prior to the upgrades and the updates that we've done over the time, your cost for buy more data was at $5.99 per gig. As you can see by the rates that we've offered or that Sunil has provided to us, they're a lot more competitive in what you can offer. These are your costs: the $299 for the 1 gig, the 5 gig at $999, the 7 gig at $1299, and the 10 gig at $1499. However you want to charge, or whatever you want to charge your customer is 100% up to you. We have customers that charge additional on top of that. We have customers that just do it as a pass through. It's 100% up to you. And we're just giving you the ability then to obviously drive some additional revenue from your customers with the buy more purchases. And that's all done through the customer portal, or the end user customer portal. When your technician is on site, they will register your user or your end user for the buy more portal. And then what they can do is they have the ability to log into that portal and purchase more data for that billing cycle. The other big update, as I mentioned before, is the update of the credits. Equipment activation credit has now been increased, as I had mentioned, 2 to 3 times more than it was traditionally in the past. And what that does is it essentially helps with offsetting that initial equipment costs up front. Whereas before with SurfBeam 2 modems for ViaSat 1 coverage areas, we're offering it at $58 credit. That's been increased all the way up to $150. SurfBeam 2 Plus will also be at $150 moving forward. And then also the Wi-Fi gateway, which traditionally had been $72, moving forward will also be $150 per equipment activation. And how that works is at the time that you activate the modem, or your technician activates the modem at the end user's location, we will then pass through that credit to you on your first month's service invoice for that customer. So it essentially offsets any type of costs that you may have for turning on a customer during that first month. There's also, as I had mentioned, some promotional credits that have been updated too, specifically on ViaSat 1 packages, the 2 new packages that we'll go over here momentarily. You'll see that there's now promotional credits for those, along with promotional credits also for the ViaSat 2 high capacity packages that were offered, or that were added as well.
Hey, Joe, if I could just add on the, well, we can stay on this slide. On the buy more, previously you only had it on select plans. We've added it to all the plans. So for example, on an old Liberty plan, a customer was able to buy more to extend their priority data. We've added that to the unlimited plans as well as the new choice plans. So if someone runs out of their priority data, they're able to go add it to any plan to kind of bridge them to get to their next billing cycle.
Right. And that also includes ViaSat 2 coverage areas as well now, where as before, we did not have that ability whatsoever. So that's a huge benefit too. For the ViaSat 1 packages, if you can see here, we have our 3 existing packages: the Liberty 1212, the Liberty 1225, and the Liberty 1250. What we have done is we've added, or Sunil has added, 2 additional packages to the offering. First being the Choice 1260, and then also the Choice 3150, which now provides 30 megs of speed in a ViaSat 1 coverage area at 150 gigs of data on a monthly basis. So it inherently increases the service and the end user experience overall. And what it does is it keeps it, as far as from your pricing standpoint, at that 45 to 50% off of what ViaSat offers on retail. Further expanding kind of what you can offer to your existing customers, but more importantly, also market to your new customers that you may be competing against Starlink with, and keeps you within that same pricing range.
Yep.
The ViaSat 2 large capacity beams, as Sunil mentioned, the biggest addition and upgrade that we've done for those packages is now also allowing and having the ability for your customers to buy more data. and that's been new and added to the platform since Sunil's taken over, and we've made some updates. For the ViaSat 2 high capacity service and beams, we've also added 2 new choice plans as well. And that is the choice 2560 and also the choice 75 150 gigabit data allowance too. And that pricing is still staying around the same as far as your cost is 40 to 50% off of what Viasat offers on the retail side. Once again, allowing you guys that additional margin up front. And also increasing and updating the promotional credits too, as well, to offset some of those initial costs up, up front for the equipment. Once again, you can position that however you'd like to your customer base. And then the biggest other additional change that we've made to the Viasat 2 high capacity packages is, as Sunil mentioned, is also now being able to buy more data as well for those packages, and driving additional revenue from those current customer bases that you have.
Exactly. And Joe, if you could go back real quick, I just want to highlight something. I'm sorry. So this first package, this 2560 and the 1260 on Viasat 1, in the retail world, if a customer was to call Viasat to go to a local dealer or call Viasat directly, that package is $69.99 plus a $15 lease fee. So your cost being $45, I want you to compare that to what we would charge in retail as $85. So there's a big piece of profit margin there for you, even if you do charge a lease fee on the equipment. And then same thing on this $89 MitoTec Choice 75 150, that's a $150 retail package where we add a $15 lease fee, and that's $165. So it puts you in a position where you can compete with us. You can, if you choose to, you can actually outprice us in the retail world. But even if you just match what we're doing, there's plenty of margin there for you. Unlike on the older plans, you were kind of left behind when we updated retail. We didn't update the silver, gold, and platinum plan. So you're there now. There's on these 2 plans that we've added, you've got a level playing field. So thank you for waiting. Go ahead, Joe.
No, and that leads us obviously into the vision and kind of where we're headed with the overall program, right? And the future of the channel, and kind of the vision that Sunil has for our wholesale channel and where we're headed. And it's pretty exciting, right? Obviously, the launch of Viasat 3 or the pending launch of Viasat 3 within the next couple hours here, or even in the next week or two, depending. But what Sunil's really working on now is the obviously the short-term benefits of the plan upgrades and what we've seen immediately, and then more long-term how we position our channel to be competitive even against the retail channel into the future. And that includes here short-term is a migration to a new platform within Viasat. And what that does is that helps us future-proof ourselves to any type of updates that may occur, housing and being within the same portal as the Viasat retail channel. We'll also see those effects as well. Another cool and kind of unique advancement that Sunil's been helping us out with, and I definitely I would ask that any new resellers or even any new existing resellers that may be looking at moving or moving into some newer locations is the ability for Sunil and his team to do some mapping and to show us based off of some mapping. You can see over here on the right hand side an example of that, of what's occurring on the retail side, and then being able obviously to be competitive in those areas. And even I guess even you could look at it as an opportunity to either know that either ViaSat retail is not being pushed that much within those areas, or is being pushed enough in that a lot in that area, and giving you the opportunity to see maybe where the customers are, and market accordingly to those. Obviously, I'd mentioned that the goal of Sunil long term is to see parity between ViaSat retail and our wholesale channel, and making sure that we're competitive still within that 40% ish off of what ViaSat offers on the retail channel. And that's the real vision that I know, Sunil, you see overall for our program, and kind of where you see us headed long term.
Absolutely, I do. I think, and the reason, I mean, long story short, it was a systematic issue. When retail got new plans, it was hard to get wholesale new plans because you were in our old system and retail was in our new system. So we're migrating wholesale out of our legacy into our newer system, which is going to allow us to think faster on our feet. So if a competitor comes out with a better plan, another satellite competitor or even a wireless competitor, and we're losing some sales market share, we adjust in retail pretty quickly. We're going to be able to do that just as quickly in wholesale once we get everything migrated over. Which will be later this year. We're projecting with the ViaSat 3 service launch, you will have the full suite of retail plans at a wholesale margin. These 4 plans we added were just to bridge us to get us there, so that we didn't continue to have an unfair playing field and lose customers to retail. And then we'll look at also adding some other products, like voice is something on my list that I'd like to see happen. I'm not going to promise you a date on it, but it is something that makes sense for this channel to have.
Great, thanks, Sunil.
No, thank you.
If there's any new individuals on the webinar that would like to get started, it's a pretty fairly quick and easy and painless setup. As mentioned before, there's no upfront operational cost to begin. It's just a online echo sign document and a couple other documents. From there, what will happen is you'll get added into and be allowed to do the training, which is all based off online. In order to get started, you just need to reach out to James McKinley or myself here at MitoTec, and we will walk you through the program, and look forward to potentially starting some new relationships. So with that, I thank everyone for jumping on. Sunil, thank you so much for taking the time here to join us. And James, I don't know, did we have any questions come up, or? I don't think that we did. So
No.
We're going to give everyone else 20 minutes left of their day. So thank you, Sunil, for that. And yeah, thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. And I appreciate everyone taking the time. Bye.
Thank you.